We cannot seem to shake off this heat and humidity. Another hot one today across the Ozarks with mainly sunny conditions and afternoon highs in the low 90s. We actually tied the record high for today's date here in Springfield. Also up the road in Rolla, tied the record high there. Temperatures are starting to pull back, but it's still going to be a warm evening out there. 81 at 8 o'clock, still near 80 at 10 o'clock, and in the upper 70s at midnight. We're holding on to this heat right into the weekend, but changes next week if you like fall temperatures. More on that coming up. Coach, the News at 5 starts now.
Hear from an Ozarks woman stranded in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria.
For me to say that it destroyed my trip is selfish because all these people just lost everything.
How a new ambulance simulator aims to help EMTs gain more life-saving skills. How an effort to repeal Obamacare in Washington could affect thousands of Arkansans. It's next at 5.
You're watching KOLR 10 News at 5 in high definition.
As Hurricane Maria heads toward the Turks and Caicos, those who've already felt its wrath are struggling to survive. At least 9 people are dead, while tens of thousands are without power after the storm swept through Puerto Rico. The Category 4 hurricane was the strongest to hit the island in 80 years. Now, most of it is underwater with more than 2/3 of its buildings destroyed. And 2 Springfield friends are stuck in Puerto Rico now after they survived the wrath of Hurricane Maria. Good evening once again to you. I'm David Oliver.
And I'm Heather Lewis, filling in for Jennifer tonight. Their flight for tomorrow has been canceled, and it's unknown when they'll be returning to the Ozarks. Our Bria Douglas is here with their story. Bria.
David and Heather, Amber Wright and Autumn Blue are young mothers who took a trip to Puerto Rico for a birthday celebration. Now they're anxious to get home to their children. The women arrived on Saturday, just days after their landing. Hurricane Maria hit the island. They were ordered to take shelter on the 2nd floor of their hotel in preparation of the storm. Now both women are stranded in that same battered hotel with broken windows. While they are both thankful to be alive, they are heartbroken over the devastation to the area. Autumn turned 21 in Puerto Rico away from her child. She says it's unclear when she'll get a flight back home.
I'm pretty ready to get home. I got a 2-year-old daughter at home, so I kind of miss her a little bit, but I'm just ready to go home.
It's kind of crazy. It looks like a war zone out here, really, but I don't know. We're just ready to go home to our babies.
Autumn says that even though her birthday celebration was interrupted, she's not complaining because she's still alive. I'll have more about the women's experience in Puerto Rico at 6 o'clock.
Bria Douglas, thank you. Thousands of people are working to uncover survivors in Mexico City's rubble. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck miles outside the city, killing at least 245 people. The quake killed at least 24 people at a school, mostly children. More than 40 buildings have crumbled on the anniversary of the massive 1985 quake that hit Mexico City, killing thousands. Mexico's president has declared 3 days of mourning. And Facebook pledges to help Mexico rebuild after this week's powerful earthquake. The social media company says it will give $1 million to the Red Cross in Mexico. The money will go to helping rebuild areas that were decimated. Facebook says it's also working with UNICEF to waive fees on donations made on its Facebook page.
And happening around the Ozarks this Thursday, the Gibson Technical Center in Reed Spring is now breaking in its newest educational tool.
As our Colin Lingo explains, the technical school's new piece of hands-on learning equipment isn't just something new to the students of Gibson, but also the entire state of Missouri.
Yeah, David and Heather, you know that thing they say about looking like a duck, smelling like a duck, so on? Well, apparently that doesn't apply with ambulances, because while this simulator looks like an ambulance, sounds like an ambulance, and even functions like an ambulance in many ways, it is instead a perfect combination of a classroom and a practice field for these Gibson Tech EMT students. You see, if it functions like a classroom in that it teaches these future healthcare workers how to handle situations they may encounter in real ambulances someday, but like a practice field for a pro football team, it also is suited with cameras equipped to record the performance of each student and then play it back for review. So far, educators and students are both saying just that scale model of a working ambulance is enough to learn from.
The students can get comfortable in the environment that it takes to succeed as an EMT in tight quarters.
You're going to want to know where your equipment is, because when you get in a big situation and your partner's telling you to grab something and you don't know where it's at, that's going to be really bad.
Now, another reason this simulator is so important to these students after this, those who want to get their EMT certification are expected to complete a 60-hour internship on a real ambulance before testing for their EMT license. I can't imagine a better way to transition into a real ambulance, guys.
Absolutely. Colin, thank you. Well, Christian County Police found a body in a field outside of Nixa this afternoon. Sheriff Brad Cole says it was located along M Highway near Nixa High after receiving a tip about a missing person. Cole says there's no foul play suspected. Police have not released the identity of this person.
And a woman is dead after shooting herself in front of Joplin police last night. Jasper County deputies were dispatched out to North Explorer Lane, responding to someone there ramming a gate at a church. At the scene, they found a woman holding a pistol to her head. She then shot herself in the chest in front of the deputies. That woman later died at Joplin Mercy Hospital. In making news now, if you're looking for a job, you'll want to check out these fields we're going to tell you about. A new report tonight from CareerBuilder.com says that jobs for app, software, and web developers have all seen major growth. Web developers make 40% more than the average worker, more than $72,000 a year. The medical field is also growing. More than 300,000 registered nurses and 250,000 home health aides have been hired in the past 7 years. Construction workers and chefs are also at the top of the list, along with Airbnb and Uber, with more people taking freelance jobs.
Former mob boss Sammy the Bull Gravano is a free man. The Arizona Department of Corrections confirms that Gravano was released from federal prison on Monday. Gravano had been in prison since 2000 for starting a major ecstasy ring that made about $500,000 a week. Gravano helped bring down John Gotti and other mobsters in 1991 by turning on the Gambino crime family and speaking to federal investigators. He will be on federal parole for the rest of his life.
Coming up next here on Color 10 News at 5 tonight, the Obamacare battle continues.
I don't have the money to pay for things out of pocket.
Up next, find out how it may affect Arkansans and who's supporting the latest proposed bill.
At New at 5 right now, the Senate is in a last-ditch effort now to repeal and replace Obamacare, and the new bill could affect hundreds of thousands of Arkansans.
The Graham-Cassidy health care proposal is seeing support from Governor Asa Hutchinson and both Arkansas senators. For Arkansans, it could mean spending more money on things like having a baby or even cancer screenings.
Yeah, those favoring this bill say it will perhaps lower the national debt. Haley Huey reports.
The main emotion when I think about this last push for Obamacare repeal is just terror.
The Graham-Cassidy bill is the newest effort to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. It would redirect federal dollars to individual states, allowing each to develop its own health care system.
The Graham-Cassidy bill is awful for Arkansas.
This is a much better effort than the prior efforts.
Katie McFarland was born with a genetic condition, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. She says the Affordable Care Act is what kept her alive.
Without it, you know, I'm a college student, I'm disabled, I don't have the money to pay for things out of pocket.
Reports show more than half of Arkansas adults using Medicaid are women. That coverage pays for 60% of pregnancies in the state.
I think people should be able to build their families and not have it break them financially.
With the proposed bill, State Rep Greg Letting says women will be the ones paying a hefty price.
If this bill were to become law, it would just do a lot of damage to Arkansas and to the people who count on Medicaid and the Arkansas Works program. Out-of-pocket costs ranging from $15,000 to $30,000 or more.
State Rep Charlie Collins says it's still too early to know the exact cost new mothers would face. He believes this bill will help get the nation out of debt.
With the block grant, the state will be designing the health care mandatory coverages, costs, and other elements, and states will have the flexibility to tailor health care for their needs.
A decision will be made in a matter of days. Meanwhile, McFarland believes her fight is about her condition and her rights as a woman.
We can't take these things for granted. We can't take our health care as women, as Americans, for granted. We have to stand up and we have to fight.
That was Haley Huey reporting.
The Senate, we are told, should take a vote on this bill sometime next week before September 30th.
And here's a look at the cannon at Wilson's Creek. It looks beautiful outside, and Jamie Warner is here to tell us how long that will last after the break.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
Well, we're 3 weeks now into September, but temperatures are going the wrong way. They should be cooling off. Instead, they've been getting hotter and hotter. The last couple of afternoons have featured highs in the low 90s. In fact, 93 yesterday and today in Springfield. Conditions are quiet, too. Lots of sunshine out there. That's part of the reason why it's been so warm. 92 is where we stand right now. In fact, most areas are still in the low 90s. Of course, that's only half of the hot weather equation. You factor in the humidity, and it is rather humid still, and we've got heat index values in the middle and upper 90s at this hour. In fact, Clinton, right at this hour, reporting a heat index of 100 degrees. So still dealing with a summer swelter. 93 was today's high in Springfield. That ties the record for today's date, set back in 1955, and it's way off the average high of 78 degrees. And, you know, another stat that's really interesting to me is that we've had more 90s in September than we had throughout the entire month of August. And I think we're going to hit 90 again tomorrow. And not out of the question that a few spots could hit 90 also on Saturday, although I think temperatures will start to edge lower as we work through the weekend into early next week. Quiet weather pattern across midsection of the country. A few isolated showers trying to get going in the afternoon heat across southeast Missouri. As we broaden our view out, you can see we've got a line of showers back across the Intermountain West. This is where a cold front is located, but that front is not going to budge. And the reason why is the upper level pattern won't allow it to. Basically, the front is paralleling the upper level pattern, so there's no push to make that front move southeast into the midsection of the country. So we are locked into this warm mode that will not change through the weekend, right into Monday of next week. But it looks like Monday into Tuesday, that trough in the west will start to edge east, and it looks like by Wednesday, Thursday, the trough will be shifting into the eastern U.S., and that will unleash milder weather across the eastern half of the nation. And we will be knocking out the summer heat that we've got right now and filling it back in with fairly comfortable fall-like readings by the second half of next week. Overnight tonight, though, feeling like summertime. Under starry skies, a low of 71. Tomorrow we'll find afternoon temperatures, I think, back in the low 90s in most spots. Winds out of the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. And what's interesting about tomorrow is that it is the first day of fall, arriving at 3:02 in the afternoon, but certainly temperatures aren't going to feel like it. Out in the tropics, still watching Maria. Maria now beginning to reorganize after getting hit pretty hard. After it hit the island of Puerto Rico, it sort of hollowed out the core of that storm. Well, the eye is now beginning to contract once again, and as the eye contracts, the winds are going to go up. Winds are now back up to 120 miles per hour, moving northwest at 8 miles per hour. The storm will threaten the southeastern Bahamas. From there, it looks like it'll still remain off the east coast of the United States. The ridge of high pressure that it's moving around, kind of squishy on the western edge. Plus, we've got some troughiness here in the southeastern U.S., and also some troughiness left behind Jose. All of that adds up to a storm that should remain off of the east coast of the U.S. For tomorrow, a 7 on our color radar. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Get those outdoor plans together. Hopefully they include maybe doing some boating or floating. 88 on Saturday, 87 on Sunday. I think over the weekend we'll notice that the humidity not quite as oppressive as it is right now. 86 on Monday. We'll throw in a slight chance for showers. The upper level pattern begins to change. Better chance for showers and a few thunderstorms on Tuesday as the front moves through. Still a chance for showers through Wednesday. And then we'll get back to sunshine and nice conditions Thursday of next week. And notice the temperatures. We go from low 90s tomorrow to low 70s this time next week.
And you know, if you've been a long-time viewer, you know I love the hot weather. And a lot of people like it too. But a lot of us who like the hot weather are ready for a change. And we're ready for it to cool off now, I think.
It's when you look at your electric bill and you realize you had to spend more money. That's when you're like, maybe I don't like the heat so much. Yeah.
Exactly. And our Viewers Club number?
Our Viewers Club number for tonight is 135409. Our jackpot continues to climb. We haven't had a winner in a while. It's up to $1,200.
Jimmy, thanks.
If you are in the market for Longhorn cattle, well, you'll want to tune in.
He's really special.
How a certain bull is taking home the prize after you see this. Right, America Now at 5 tonight. They say that everything is bigger in Texas, but even the cattle industry is having a hard time imagining this.
Yeah, they say there's a longhorn bull with horns that have the wingspan of an eagle, and this bull is up for sale.
Bull like him's never come along. He just started growing and he never quit.
So a town in Texas is seeing something that's never seen before at the Hudson Valentine auction. A 1-ton longhorn bull from Oklahoma with horns reaching over 8 feet from tip to tip. The average for longhorns is 6 feet. Cowboy Tough Checks is his name, and he holds the Guinness World Record for the longest horned bull in history.
Now, this gentle giant is going to be up on the auction block. Top breeders from all over the world have their eyes on this longhorn legacy, but if they want him, they better be ready to set another record. This is apparently one cash cow because he has those huge horns. He's going to go for a pretty penny, I imagine.
How about that?
All right, we've got a big bundle of joy for you in our last story here.
That's coming up after this look at the CBS Evening News.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, Facebook is giving Congress thousands of ads linked to Russia for the election meddling investigation. Also tonight in Mexico, a race against time to save people buried in the rubble. Plus, his lawyer says ex-NFL star Aaron Hernandez suffered from severe brain illness. And we'll show you how TV fantasy became medical reality tonight on the CBS Evening News.
KOLR 10 News at 5 continues in high definition.
Well, it took 22 months of gestation and 10 hours of labor to bring this baby into the world. This male Asian elephant calf was born to his 35-year-old mother on Tuesday. The birth was monitored by a team of veterinarians, especially since another calf born last summer died from health problems.
This young elephant, though, is in good health. The mother is also doing well. This was her 6th calf. With a total group of 18 individuals, 15 Asian and 3 African, this zoo hosts the biggest group of elephants in Europe.
Always fun to see a new little baby born there.
Wobbly.
Yeah, wobbly, that's for sure. Our temperatures have been a little wobbly this time of year. It still feels like summer, Jamie.
Well, the last few days just been locked in on 90s. I personally, I'm ready for it to start cooling off. I think a lot of folks probably are. We're going to have to wait, though, until after the weekend. So, you know, when you're dealt lemons, you make lemonade, right? So this weekend, it's like one more summer weekend. Get out there and enjoy it. Hopefully you can do some boating or something like that. After that, though, look for things to cool off next week.
Jamie, thanks.
And we'll see you back here tonight at 6.